All right, folks. Listen the heck up. We've finally reached, I'm so glad to say it. We've finally reached a point in Steven Crowder's career where for YouTube videos, he literally just makes up like shower conversations. You know? I skipped through this a little bit. Crowder red pills a black guy at the gym, louder with Crowder. I skipped through it a little bit. I wanted a taste. And yeah, it's really good. Now I only skipped through like 8 seconds of it. So I am here as much an audience member as you. All right, let's learn. Let's learn how Crowder red-pilled a black guy at the gym. I don't know why it's relevant that he's black. I thought conservatives were always touting the idea that your race shouldn't determine your politics, but it's okay. We can roll.
So many people go their entire lives absolving themselves of the most important decisions they could make, of the most important actions they could take, because that's not only what affects you, your life, and your happiness, but everyone around you, and ultimately the country.
Wait, what the fuck did he just say? Did he just open? Was that it? Was that the opening for the video? So many people don't make decisions, but they should make decisions because it's important? Okay. I mean, I don't disagree, Crowder.
So I wanted to tell you something here, a story that occurred this week. And I was talking about this in a morning at pitch meeting, and I didn't really realize this was something that I could tell on air, but I think it was Tim from HR said, you know what, you should talk about that. So I was at the gym this week, and there's a guy in there, a black guy who I know, and he's not, he's really black.
I'm sorry.
And really black, like
for fuck.
Nubian.
Yeah. Nice guy. He Christian guy. He coaches.
Nubian. All right. Okay. I'm sorry. This is tangential. I'm sorry. Okay. Hold on.
Like, he coaches basketball for underprivileged kids at a church, and we talk all the time. I go in, we always enjoy each other's company. I was just talking with him about like jujitsu. He was talking about basketball. We were kind of learning from each other, and the conversation transitioned.
I'm really sorry. I don't know what life Steven Crowder lives like. I go to the gym. There's this basketball teacher, Christian. We were talking jujitsu one time, Nubian black, and here's what I had to say to him. All right, okay, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm the abnormal one here. I wouldn't tell this story this way.
Transitioned to politics, right at one point. And it started with me, I think we were talking about athletics and the whole kind of transgender athletics thing. And so it started with that, and I talked about, transgender athletes. And
wait, you opened with that? Wait, you don't typically talk about politics with this person. And he opened with, like, oh yeah, dude, nice Christian youth basketball group you've got going over there. Yeah, man, it's really nice. Thank you. Oh yeah, cool. So how about when the trannies want to do sports ball? How do you feel about that? I don't know. I'm sorry. We need to get through this without constantly impugning Crowder for the fact that this is definitely at least partially made up.
And men winning women's wrestling meets. He goes, man, what? When is this happening? I said, where have you been? I said, where have you been? You don't know about that? Do you know about the case in Texas? It's in Texas with the father and his son. He said, what? He has to raise his boy as a girl? He was like, you making that up? Because I know you do your little show.
Oh,
and I said,
God.
no, I do my little show, and it is.
Okay. So, leaving aside the voice, he's doing the black voice this whole damn video. Do you think he's gonna slip a massa at any point? Oh, fuck me, dude. Hey, you know what's actually really, really funny? This is the only part of the story I can believe. That Crowder, out of nowhere, brings up trans people, and this dude, who's a productive member of society, says, what the fuck are you talking about? Who even knows what, like... Because it's true. Trans people, like, in terms of how much it affects the country, relative to everything else going on, is the most irrelevant shit to everyone except trans people. Like, if we're talking about people caring about what affects their lives, the only people affected by trans people are trans people. So I love the idea of Crowder over here, who does all this stuff on the trans people, conservative comedy and such. And this regular ass dude is like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, the implicit, connection here being like, how much of Crowder's time is dedicated to shit that is absolutely fucking irrelevant to the lives of basically everyone. Yeah, this dude's just trying to coach some kids and get pizza. All right, okay, let's listen to more Black Voice.
That was demeaning, but I appreciate the way you framed it. But no, this is real. And he was like, man, I can't believe that. I said, yeah, you really should probably, get involved with this a little bit more, learn about it. And he started talking, he asked, well, what do you think about politics? We started talking about Bernie Sanders. And he said, because I know I got some friends who they like Bernie Sanders, but I don't really follow that a lot. Like, what do you think? I said, well, I don't know. What do you think about a 90% income tax? He goes, what? What? And this is how he goes, what, 90%? Come on.
Yeah, dude, 90% income tax on every American. It's true. Bernie, some king shit right there. Can you imagine learning politics from Steven Crowder? Man, I've been listening to my friends talk about Bernie Sanders lately, And I'm wondering, what do you have to say about that? Well, how do you feel about your daughter getting raped in the ass by government workers? And then he said, what? I don't like that. I don't want my daughter to be raped in the ass by government workers. And he's like, well, there's Bernie for you. Like, all right, dude. Let's
Come on, dude. I said, no, 90%. I said, just right now, run a YouTube search. You can see Bernie Sanders saying that a 90% tax wouldn't be completely out of line. And as we're talking...
Wait, that's not the same claim you just made. Wait, even in your own made-up story, you're lying here. Well, he's lying on two accounts here because Bernie Sanders does not want a fucking across-the-board 90% income tax. It would be a 90% income tax in the absolute highest echelon of income earners, which is, comparable to what we used to see in this country. Oh, upper income tax rates over time. There was a wonderful GIF of this. Yeah. So these are just the marginal income tax rates. The actual practicality of how these numbers are used down the line is much, much, much more complicated. But yeah, it's pretty simple. Look, used to have a very low marginal tax rate. Back up here, got jumped up real fucking high. We had some dips, we had some ups, but over here it peaked around World War II at 94% upper income tax rate. And since that point, the trend downward has been pretty marked. We got down to 28% back in 88. I think that was under the first Bush. And nowadays we're sitting at around this. But in spite of the fact that our income tax rate for the top earners is in the 37% right now, apparently, there are plenty of rich folk who pay nothing because there are lots of tax loopholes you can get around. Amazon made approximately $100 bazillion last year, and it won't be paying a cent in taxes. There's a lot of workarounds there. But yeah, just to clarify, in case anyone here is curious, the 90% tax rate that he's referring to here is, to my recollection, 90% of every dollar above the first $10 million you make is taxed. If I recall correctly.
Talking, he's sitting there going man, that's crazy. This other guy comes up, and I know him. He's also a good guy, Christian guy, but he's a Chicago guy. So you know what that means. He's a Chicago Union liberal. And he walks up, and he's this kind of guy who tries to bulldoze a conversation. He goes oh, what are you talking about, Bernie Sanders taxing 90%? And I said, yeah, talking about taxing 90%. He goes, yeah, well, do you, that's because do you like your roads? Right away, he's going to this generic socialism argument. And the black guy's what I love is the black guy.
Wait. Is it a socialist argument to say that taxes pay for roads? What? And I said we should remove all taxes, and then he said we need taxes to maintain the roads, and then I said, what are you, a socialist? What? Oh, it's important you specify Amazon pays no federal taxes. Yeah, we were looking at the federal tax rate there. I apologize. I should clarify. Amazon pays no federal taxes. There are still other state and local taxes that they have to pay for their respective thing. This is the fakest conversation I've ever seen in my life. So this black dude, whoa, there are trans people in sports now? Raising boys as girls? That's gross. Well, yeah, man, you should really pay attention to politics. Then the big union liberal comes on through. Oh, yeah. 90% tax rate. You like roads, do you, Crowder? And then I whipped out my gun kata moves and quickly disarmed both of them in the blink of an eye. They had no chance. My katana folded over 1,000 times.
I don't want to use their name, so I am saying black guy, so whatever. You can be offended if you want. He says, well, do you like your roads? And the black guy goes, roads. He's like, what you talking about? Like I can see in his brain, he's like, that's what we call a non sequitur. But he goes, roads? And the guy goes, yeah, how do you think the government works? Roads, police department, Social Security. And I said, right, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, welfare, public schools, DMV, post office, all programs that work really well. And the black guy goes, yeah.
Would society work better without them? What? Wait. Oh yeah, roads. Those programs work really well. What the fuck am I listening to?
But they don't, though.
Oh, he hit him! He couldn't even leave the sarcasm to it. He knows his audience is so stupid that he has to cap it off with an acknowledgement that what he just said was sarcastic.
And so that set Chicago white guy off.
Speaking of non sequiturs, that's literally a non sequitur. Like, we need tax money to pay the roads is relevant. And then Crowder's response is, well, the roads don't work that well, do they? That's actually a non sequitur. It has nothing to do with the previous point. Good, then let's tax them even more. Get even better roads.
He starts going nuts. He starts going, oh, this is Donald Trump. He goes, I don't care what you are. I'm a Christian, but Donald Trump is a horrible man because no one treats people like that. I said,
what? Can we actually recognize how pathetic it is that somebody with Crowder's outreach felt the need to make up a story? Like, and then wait, we just need to see if everyone clapped at the end.
Treat people like what? He goes, what? Do you watch the news? He goes, do you watch the news? And the black guy's like, he kind of does it. And I was like, just stop. He goes, do you watch the news? It's terrible. I said, well, listen, whether he's a good guy or not, I think that we have a rip-roaring economy and we're better off. He goes, a rip.
Wait, whether he's a good guy or not? Wait, is Crowder acknowledging that Trump is a bad dude? Wait, why are you backing off that point, Crowder? Even in your fucking fake-ass story.
For an economy? Why do you say that? I said, well, I don't know. We have the lowest unemployment that we've had in decades.
We can tackle these points one by one if you'd like. The reason we have the lowest unemployment that we've had in decades is due to policies that were put in place after the 2008 financial crash that was directly a product of George W. Bush's incompetence and negligence in managing the stock market. The lowered unemployment rate is consistent with trends that were begun in the Obama years. This is the thing, guys, I really encourage, if you ever get in an argument with like a Trump supporter or whatever, keep in mind that while the president does have some level of control over the economy, the act of a president being in office, the act of him planting his ass in the Oval Office, does not itself affect the economy. They have to do things. And all of the major economic policies that Trump is engaged in, like, for example, the tariff war, have been objectively damaging to the economy. So don't just get them to say, oh, well, black unemployment is lower than it's ever been. Get them to say what specific policies led to that being the case. Because if no policies brought that about, it's entirely possible that this is just consistent with the market fluctuations that the president doesn't have direct control over, or with policies implemented by previous presidents. You know? Gotta make sure, gotta clarify.
Highest labor force participation rate. We have a job surplus. We have $5,000 as the median household increase for middle-income families, not including the super wealthy. I think this is a pretty good thing. And I said also, lowest black unemployment rate. And the black guy now goes like, yeah, that's true. That's true. I said, more black businesses being started than ever before. I can relate. He goes, yeah, that's true. I read about that. And the guy goes, yeah, well, what about GDP?
This argument couldn't even be Crowder arguing with a made-up black guy. He had to bring in a union liberal to argue with so the black guy can slowly be convinced by Crowder's arguments. This is even more fucking circle jerky than I expected. By the way, hey guys, real quick poll in chat. Real quick one, okay? It's true, a lot of numbers in the economy are up. In a lot of ways, the economy is doing well. Like the stock market, for example. Can you hypers, if you feel like the economy isn't going that well for you personally? People keep saying things are going well, but I think a lot of people, a lot of American citizens, feel otherwise. almost as though the metrics that we're using to determine the strength of the economy aren't really reflective of the lived experiences of our citizens. There you go, there's a poll. I like the hypers more, but there's a poll. Yeah, that's what I felt like. There's more job instability, more job insecurity than there ever has been before, since the Great Depression, of course. The gig economy is incredibly exploitative. People aren't making enough to live. Sure, there are jobs, but do those jobs pay enough for people to survive? That's an important question that people like Crowder never, ever, ever pay attention to. The reason for that is, of course, and it's really, really simple, the more jobs there are available, the more businesses are being opened. This is great for upper income earners. But the fact that these jobs exist but aren't paying enough for us to live off of means that the money is going elsewhere. Our economy is only getting more efficient, It's only getting more productive. There's only more money being made. Our country is only getting wealthier. So if the average person isn't feeling that wealth, then it's going up. As it has every single time there's a boom-bust cycle in the history of capitalism. Every single time the sign comes up to the top, things feel good and they crash and the wealth is consolidated into the hands of fewer and fewer people, and then we go up again. So don't let people scare you with these bullshit misrepresentative statistics that don't actually express the economic reality for most American citizens.
Hold on a second. I thought we want to talk about sort of these metrics that really affect everyday Americans. He goes, you know what? He starts bringing up his phone, and he brings up something about the GDP, and it wasn't really relevant, and I refuted it and pointed him to another source. And he goes, yeah, well, that's the problem. You Republicans only care about money. I said, what? You brought it up. Yeah. You brought up the GDP. Wait. So at this point, he goes, yeah, you Republicans only care about your greed. And the black guy, he turns to me. So this guy, I will say, love the guy. He's a little fickle. Because then he turns back and he goes, yeah, but you kind of do, though. He goes, right, like you Republicans, like a lot of white Republicans, like y'all really care about money, like a whole lot, right? I said, well, not real. I don't think so.
Damn, is that Chris Rock in the studio? Is that Chris Rock? Do we have him behind? Oh my God, it's Chris Rock behind. Yeah, and then the black guy. Yeah, man, I really jive with that. One moment, let me stop dribbling this basketball so I can get more invested in this conversation. Because, homie, you be tripping right now. Fucking kill me, dude.
He goes, no. I said, no, I really don't think that's the case. He goes, what do you mean? I said, okay, right now I pay half of my income. Okay? He goes, yeah. I said, you probably pay pretty close to that. Probably not because, you're in Texas, but if you were in California, you'd be paying close to half your income.
Wait. Only if you guys are wealthy. Half your income? Half your income. Okay, so we can clarify this really quickly because I did the math on this recently, okay? So let's just clarify. Let's recognize how divorced from reality this estimation is. So let's do my tax math, okay? I make a very variable amount of money, thanks to you guys. A rough estimation would probably put it in the ballpark of $110,000 to $120,000 every year if I were to extrapolate my most recent monthly income to a year-long period. Now, because I am self-employed, I get fucked by taxes. Because I am self-employed, I pay both halves of the FICA tax, and my employer isn't there to cover certain other expenses. Meaning that I can expect at the end of the year, not counting business deductions and what have you, to probably lose about 28 to 32% of my income. That's its low end of six figures, self-employed. For you to be losing half of your income every single year as an employee, which I'm pretty sure he is. I'm pretty sure that Crowder works in an LLC. I don't think he's an independent contractor like I am. He would have to make an exorbitant amount of money. This 50% shit? Who the fuck is that? Didn't he say this guy's a Christian and he plays basketball to teach the kids basketball? Like, wait, what the fuck? The black guy, what is his job? Is he like a retired fucking businessman? Where is he getting that money from? Because otherwise the 50% statistic is ludicrous. You unironically should make an LLC? Yeah, I'm getting around to it.
Know that he's a pretty successful business person. He goes, yeah, okay. I said, so.
Oh, he's a pretty successful business person. Okay, nice. So two people discussing the economic realities of common Americans as wealthy people complaining about taxes that wealthy people pay and probably exaggerating those numbers too.
I want to know if half isn't enough, what number is enough? You tell me what number is enough. How it would pay for all these programs that Mr. Chicago is proposing. And as far as greed, I would like to know, and this isn't original, this is something from Thomas Sowell, I believe, and it's been repeated. I said, what I would like to know is, why is it greedy for me to want to keep more than half, but not greedy for someone else to want to take more than half?
This is a complete non sequitur. No individual person is taking anybody's tax money. It's put back into the government and then redistributed broadly. Also, this argument could be plugged in with any numbers under any circumstances. Like, imagine like royalty, like, oh, how can people say that it's greedy for me to personally own 85% of the empire's land, but then it is not greedy for the peasantry to wish to own said land upon which they work and starve. Like it's this syllogism can be plugged into any state of affairs in any society with any level of economic disparity. You could literally make that argument as a fucking pharaoh in Egypt. It means nothing. What the fuck do you mean? Why should we tax rich people? For three main reasons. One, rich people benefit more from society functioning as it does. The more money you're making, the more labor power you're extracting from other people, and those people benefit from the existence of social services, roads, and other civic programs. A business owner is nothing without a state to protect their interests. Absolutely nothing. That's one. For two, because fuck you. We get generally better societal outcomes if we take money from people who have too much and give it to programs or to people who need it. It's that simple. I don't give a fuck. Again, I do not give a single shit about this divine right of monetary ownership, or just because the system as it exists today has decided that you get bequeathed all the land in the world, that you get to continue that system into perpetuity. I reject this. We are the ones who build the systems. We should be building a system that works for the greatest number of people possible. This system does not. And for three, because having wealth being hoarded in the pockets of a specific and very small group of people allows them a disproportionate level of control over our broader political system. It subverts democracy in an unacceptable way and is profoundly anti-American. Those are the three main reasons. His weird fucking... God, why is he so sweaty? His weird fucking syllogism is meaningless. It's no bearing. It's not policy.
And he said, yeah. That's food for thought.
Fuck, are you sure he didn't say shit, boy?
So they just went, that's food for thought. And he went back to the sky, food for thought.
Shit, homie.
And I will say, like, listen, this is a good example of, is he black? Yes. Are there cultural differences at play here? Am I colorblind? No. It's very entertaining to white people.
He keeps playing, he keeps fucking lampshading it, dude.
Sometimes to listen to black culture. He goes, food for thought, and then I don't know, the Chicago...
It's very entertaining to us white people to listen to the blacks talk. The way their Negroid speak, the Ebonics, it's very funny to me the way they mangle the English language. Anyway, as I was saying with my minstrel show, holy shit, dude, Crowder is like actually really fucking racist. Not even like racist like policy implementation wise. Crowder himself is just fucking racist, and all of the comedy of his show is him doing like voices for other ethnicities. It's pretty incredible. It's actually like he actually does minstrel shows. Where was that? Remember the one where he like dressed up like a Chinese dude and he had the big buck teeth and the straw hat and the big glasses and the squinty eyes, and he like drowned a doll to like a mandolin playing? Remember when one of his Latin fucking cohorts, yeah, his dumb friends laughed. Remember when one of his Latin cohorts dressed up in like overalls and sat in a cage with a lollipop? Oh, mi amigo, please. Senor Trump, let me out. I want a burrito. Remember? That's like, this is quality Steven Crowder content. Nothing but the best from a failed comedian who moved on to political commentary because getting money from dumb shits who get their politics from grifters like Crowder is actually a lot easier than writing good jokes.
The guy went on the elliptical, and that was that. But the point that I'm making here is this is a black guy who is not a Republican at all. And afterwards, by the way, he took me aside later the next day and he said, you talk about this some research. Like, I think Trump is like I think he's like a dick, but I agree with what you said. Like, I think it's better now than Obama. And he started talking about that. I'm going, here's the point, folks. Sometimes convincing people is not that hard.
Holy shit. Oh my God. Give me the lesson plan. Test me at the end of the lesson, buddy. Please, God. Did he give you the N-word pass?
Sometimes it just takes trying. I want people to understand this. Just having those conversations in day-to-day life, I can't tell you how many times that's happened. That's before we've done this show. That's before we've had thousands of people line up to go to school shows and talk about how this program or other programs have influenced their sort of political walk. It all started with me having conversations with people. That was the basis for Change My Mind. Sometimes people go, right. Well, why don't you do more debates? Well, we will do more debates, and we do debates in the show, but Change My Mind is not about it.
Cold feet, Crowder. We're going to do more debates, huh? I bet there's somebody you're not going to be doing a debate with. I bet there's someone you're not going to be doing a debate with. Something tells me you've got some people lined up to debate, and there was no Sam, there was no Cedar in there. Cold feet, Crowder. Crowder, get yourself some fucking... what are these called? Foot mittens? Slippers? Because cold feet, Crowder, we're going to be doing debates. Only 50 more videos where I put on a minstrel show voice of black guys. Guys, we're so close. We're so close to debates. And then he brings on like some 22-year-old. Get it in there.
A debate. Change My Mind is to showcase what I just described, how you can have conversations with people in everyday life and either convince them or convince someone who's watching you talk with them. In other words, when the Chicago guy horned in, I wasn't trying to convince him, but I knew that if I spoke articulately, if I didn't get mad, if I kept my cool, and
articulately like a white man, I don't know,
made my points and I was speaking truthfully, that the black gentleman would hear my point, and he did. Sometimes it just takes trying. And when I hear people, I've heard this a lot, some people on the right, they complain about immigration, and I do obviously have a problem with illegal immigration, and as it relates to legal immigration, I do think that we should be pretty strict on who we allow in, and we should be picking the best and the brightest. I think we should have standards, so I want to be clear about that.
What is this?
But sometimes you have people who say, well, the thing is, you just look at the demographics from people coming in from these countries, black people or brown people, they vote overwhelmingly Democrat, and you know what? The more you let come in, we're going to lose we'll never have any more conservative principles. Hold on a second. First off, I don't agree with the premise because demographics are changing. Look at the electoral map with Donald Trump in the Midwest and Chicago, Michigan, Wisconsin, right? These states that no one thought he had a chance of winning, yours truly included. Those things change. But when you say, well, these demographics, there's no way to change it. If they come in, we're going to lose it. What does that do? It absolves you of having that conversation that I just had at the gym.
Like the conversation that you would have to have with Sam Cedar that you're avoiding because you know you'd get blown the fuck out talking to anyone other than the people who show up to arrive at your booths, which you don't give locations for ahead of time because you know if you did that people capable of debating would show up. Guys, did you know this? Are you aware of that? Did you know that people that he doesn't like do these pre-releases like ahead of time because he doesn't want people like, say for example, me flying out to go blow him the fuck out? Not that I would, by the way. That'd be pretty fucking cringy. Like, Steven Crowder, I've seen you from YouTube. My name is Vosh. Prepare to duel. Not me. But maybe somebody with a little bit more professional clout than me. Maybe if they did one in Seattle. If Crowder did one in Seattle and he gave it like a little bit like a 2 or 3 days head up, I would show up over there. That'd be pretty fun. I don't know what subject it would be. I'd bring all my talking points. Anyway, dude, God, this guy is so fucking creepy.
Did it mean that I missed a workout? Sure. And I was grumpy that day, because if I don't get some exercise in, I'm usually kind of a prick. But the point is, when someone says, this is a demographic problem, it absolves you of any responsibility as it relates to changing somebody's mind. And this is something that we do a lot. A lot of the time, people...
Well, this is boring now. Now he's just syllogizing about how it's important to change people's minds. In stark contrast, mind you, to Ben Shapiro says you shouldn't debate a leftist because you know you'll get blown the fuck out. Somebody said there's JQ shit in the comments. Hold on. Wait. I've driven on Chicago roads. They suck. Sometimes high taxes don't make things better. Yes. The more money you invest in a public works project, the worse it turns out. True! I don't see any JQ shit, guys. Did you lie to me? Would you lie to me? You would lie to me. Control F JQ. Nobody would just type out JQ. Oh, try sorting by newest? I'm going to be really disappointed if there's none, because his little bit at the end there about how you shouldn't be worried about non-whites coming into the country through legal immigration because you can convince non-whites of the legitimacy of like Republican talking points, that goes in firm contrast to like alt-right, alt-light shit. Nope, I don't see anything. I don't see anything, guys. Guys, I have good news. For the first, I'm being sincere. I'm being sincere right now. This is good for me. I like it. Because people who follow Steven Crowder, I think I can change these people's minds. The Nazis are farther gone. For the first time in a long time, we've looked at the comment section of a video we've done and haven't seen neo-Nazi dog whistling. Maybe we brushed over a little bit of it. Okay, well, oh wait, no, there's this one. There's this one. Well, now that's clear. How will anal sex win the culture war? Which was something that was a question expressed at the TPUSA conference by one of Nick Fuentes and neo-Nazis' minions. So there's that one. But for the most part, no neo-Nazi dog whistling. You know what? Or very minimal. Good. That's good. I can be optimistic about this. I can't be optimistic about that Steven Crowder video, because that was really fucking cringy. I've said before that Steven Crowder's greatest talent as a rhetorician is dehumanizing other people. And it really comes across in how willing, able, and tenderly he goes right into like the minority voice. You know what I mean? He really loves it. He dives on in. I respect his courage. I do think he's really fucking racist, though. What are you gonna do?